Alright everybody, and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program. Now looking back at the previous episode of Kerbal Space Program, I was failing at orbits. And that's because I believe I was coming up too high when I was exiting the was it Kerbin? Yes, this is what this planet is called. Kerbin's atmosphere, and it was making my Apolis or Apocalypse, something like that. It's the highest point in your orbit at any rate. And it was becoming too steep, and I was not knowing where to cut off. But however, I have watched a tutorial or two on how to do that correctly, so now we're going to sufficiently put a satellite into orbit. So I usually like using one of these two guys up here because they're like they have a bit of the angle snapping is a whole lot easier because they have these nice little pallets on the side where it's just flat and you can put on a solar panel or whatever you desire. So first off, we're just going to put on all the sciencey stuff, and then we will work on the actual rocket to lift it up. Now, since I'm going to cut the orbit at probably like 100 to 150,000 feet, we really don't need a legendary rocket for this. However, I feel like we might as well just have something good on it. Okay, so let's just see here. If we've got those there, I don't know if we really need Gigantor solar panels. I think we'll just put on these 2x3s right here on the sides. And then let's see what else we can do. We don't need a storage container. This isn't a space station. What are you thinking? All right. Let's see. I do want to put on an antenna. Okay, let's just put on one of these, just so it'll be able to communicate with everybody on Earth. Oh wow, that's a pretty big antenna. Okay, I think I might just want to put on one of these guys right here. I believe something like this. So if it is at an angle, we can communicate with Earth. And then I know it's not really necessary, but it's just kind of cool for like, a nice little aspect. And we'll just have these nice little guys on the side. This is kind of intruding, but at the same time, do I look like I care? Okay. Okay, so this is looking like a pretty good sciencey thing right here. Alright, so now it's time to work on how we actually want this rocket or this spacecraft to get up in the air. So, oh, that's a bit big. Okay, here we go. So let's just put on one of these little decouplers here. And now we will work on getting this thing up into space. Oh yeah. Alright, so I have been using this little fuel tank right here, I believe. It's a nice little small guy, and it's a narrow piece, which allows me to use my most favorite engine in the entire game. That being, which is, I believe it's this one right here, because it does not overheat even at maximum thrust, and that is absolutely phenomenal. Because if you use the skipper or the mainsail, I believe it's called, yeah, Rockomax Rainsail and Rockomax Skipper, those guys, if you do use them with full thrust and you're going just like for any amount of time, they'll start overheating almost immediately, and that is not what we want. So once we have these, just get some winglets on. And why not, let's just put on some solid fuel boosters so that we will be able to have no issue getting up into orbit, and we'll be able to do it comfortably. So let's just put these guys on like so. And once we don't need the stage anymore, that decouples, and then our guy is in orbit. Oh yeah. Alright, now I think I might need to put in an SAS module because this is not actually a spacecraft, like a pod that has it built in. So I think this is under control, I believe. Yes, it is. Yes, it is indeed. All right, here we go. And this is looking good. Oh, yeah. Okay, so let's just do a quick prep. Oh, wait, hang on. Let's put in our nice little, these stability enhancers from the launch. All right, and now let's name this guy. So let's just see here. Let's just name this the Monitor. The Monitor Mark 1. Because this satellite is for no other purpose than, oh, whoops, hang on. Alright, so we've got the Monitor Mark 1, and this guy is for surveillance and surveillance only. So we've got this guy saved, and now let's try and put into a sufficient orbit. Now, once we get this thing to about 100,000 feet, the apoaps, something like, I believe it's like that. The highest point in orbit is the apoaps, something like that, and then the lowest point is like the periaps. I believe it's like that. As you can tell, I'm not an astrophysicist, so my terminology is a bit lacking at the moment. Alright, so let's just do one quick flight check before we start off. So let's just get this all in one stage. Alright, so we've got our solid rocket boosters. These launch, these decouple, and then this gets us hopefully into orbit. And we'll put on our SAS so we don't have to worry about going all over the place. And 3, 2, 1. Okay, so let's see here. Once we get to about 10,000 feet, we will want to go to about 45 degrees. So that'll be in that direction right over there. And oh, look, we can see the moon right there. Nice. Okay, so I'm thinking, I probably should have had the middle engine on with fuel pipes leading in and probably have like a fuel or a nice little aerodynamic cap up here, but since they are solid fuel boosters and we'll drop them off before we probably hit 8,000 feet, it's not all that critical. I mean, we're just going to get this thing into a basic orbit, so it's not that massive of a deal. So, oh wow, we might be able to get to about 10,000 feet with these solid rocket boosters. Here, let's just take a look. Oh no, we're probably going to lose them about 8,500 feet, I believe, right around there. Oh wow. I actually did make it. Okay, so... Oh, wait, whoops, other way. Oh, my. Okay, yeah, let's just launch it this way. Why not? All right, and let's just hold it at an angle like this so we can get into a nice counterclockwise orbit, you know, just because we're trying to be unique here. All right, so let's just wait for the velocity vector to follow us up right here. And hopefully our SAS module will hold us into it. All right, so let's just leave it there and check our map right here. So, okay, so once this apoapsis hits about 100,000, we will cut to the engines and then we'll make a necessary maneuver in order to circularize the orbit. And I do want the orbit to be between 100,000 and 200,000 feet, just so it's not like too extraneous. So let's see, we may have to put it up a bit more here. Let's just get it staged a bit more so that the apoapsis does go for a bit longer, so we have to make less maneuvers in order to correct it. Now, I'm thinking I'm already seeing a potential issue here. We're almost about to hit orbit, but we may run out of fuel, actually, in order before we'll break atmosphere no matter what. We're about to hit orbit, but we may actually run into a problem where if we do, in fact, have to... oh, wait, we should probably be checking the map. Where's our apoapsis? Oh, wow, we're almost there. So I think we will have enough fuel to make the necessary maneuvers in order to make this work. And cut. All right, so now that we have our apoapsis like this, let's just add a maneuver by left-clicking, and I believe clicking this one looks like the back of a plane and dragging out. It should make the necessary orbit. All right, so let's just do this. Nice little orange line will draw out the basis for the periapsis and the apoapsis. Okay, so once those flip 100,000 and 114,000, I reckon that is a pretty good orbit right there. So it's not too far off on either side. Actually, no, let's just make it, let's see, 117,000, 95,000. Is there any way I can, like, make that a bit better? Dang. Seems like they're always going to be, like, a bit off it that way. Okay, here, let's just get to both over 100,000, just a little bit. Okay. So, 98, 99, and it should be 100. Nope. Come on now. Little guy, oh boy, you are giving me a hard time, aren't you? All right, definitely. All right, fantastic. Now let's get to where we need to be. We'll have to burn in for 45 seconds at our necessary node. So let's just try and locate that node on the nav ball. Okay, where's this guy? Oh, here he is, little blue ball, or a little blue node. Looks kind of like a crosshair. All right, so it's just center in there. And since we'll be burning in a minute for about 45 seconds, I reckon we have enough fuel for the job. Let's just right-click on our fuel tank. Okay, so we are definitely on our second fuel tank, but I think we'll actually be good. Wow. All right, so we're at almost 100,000 feet. Nice. All right, so let's just time accelerate a couple times just before we have to hit our mode in our node in T-minus 15 seconds. All right, here we go. So we'll start burning at about, say, 3 or so seconds just to make sure that we hit the node a bit early on. Okay, so here we go. All right, let's start thrusting. All right. So we'll have to burn for about 40 or so seconds, and yeah, we'll definitely have enough fuel for that. Great stuff. So we need to hit about 1,000 more meters per second in order to get ourselves in that kind of good orbit, but hey, that's not a bad deal. I really, okay, yeah, oh yeah, we definitely have enough fuel for the job. We'll leave ourselves with a bunch of extra fuel. Fantastic, I love that. Okay, so almost at 500 meters per second left. We have under half, we're probably at a quarter of our fuel tank now, but oh my goodness, we almost had to burn for just about 6 or so more seconds. Let's just try and stay on that little target, and we flip. Okay, and let's just cut it. All right, great stuff. All right, so let's check our orbit now. Let's just get rid of that node right there. Get rid of that. All right, let's check. Okay, so 98,000, and what in the world? That's a bit of a high apoapsis over there, that is. Oh, I'm not sure why that's the case. Now, we could correct that a little bit by closing it in on itself. Here, let's just see if we can do that with a little maneuver. Like, oh no, that makes things bad. Okay, yeah, that's probably a bad idea. I don't want to do that. Okay, so I think we're in a good orbit at the moment, actually. Even though if it is off quite by a lot, it's not that big of a deal, but I think we're actually ready to, since we don't really need any more, we don't need this back section anymore, let's just decouple. And, alright, now we have our first functioning satellite. Alright, so let's deploy these solar panels here. Alright, let's just extend these panels so we will have power for everything on board. Let's get the Communitron out, and oh yeah, look at that guy. It's like looking this is a pretty small satellite. You can tell by these solar panels are like intruding on the the Communitron 16. Alright, here we go. So let's just let's see, can I extend these nice little thingies? Here we go. And one more. Alright, check it out. Oh yeah, first satellite. And then we've got a nice little bit back there. Hopefully it has no hard feelings, even though we did leave it behind, actually. Okay, so let's just check right here, see how our battery life is doing. Sun exposure is good. Communitron, I don't really know if there's a purpose for the Communitron quite yet. It may, like, work for remote control, like, whenever that does come about. But, guys, we have our very first satellite. Oh, yeah. So, let's see. Next, it'll be, like, off to the Mun. Or, yeah, that's the Mun in this game. Here, let's just take a look at the map real quick. And that is quite a ways out. Alright, so yeah, let's just delete that maneuver. We don't need that. Alright, guess I can't yet. Okay, so the Mun over there. And then we can make our way to Minimus. I think that's what it's called. And then beyond. Man, this is like such a big picture here. Moho, wow. And then Elo, that's a very far ways away. Alright, so that's going to be something for a future episode, but we got our very first satellite in orbit, so now we can spy on all the enemy nations. You know, our Monitor Mark 1 is sufficiently in orbit, and it'll be spying on everybody with its 3 antennas. They'll be picking up all the radio waves, capturing all the phone calls, and we'll be tracking down everyone who's against America. Alright, but thank you guys very much for watching this episode of Kerbal Space Program. I reckon in the next episode we'll start working on getting our people to the moon, our Kerbals. We'll work on a sufficient landing craft and all that. But thank you very much for watching once again, and I'll see you guys soon.